Empowerment Show aims to equip individuals with the necessary tools, knowledge, and confidence to make informed decisions and take control of their lives. It also focuses on ensuring access to essential resources and the opportunities.
All right. Good evening. This is going to be one of our evening shows, around about 8 o'clock or so, 8:30. Glad you guys can tune in. So this is going to be a part two. Earlier during the week or last week, we had a young man on known as Gifted Gorilla. His
Guarantee you're not eating me, dog.
true name to be Gifted Gorilla. His true name is Chandre. Chandre, so what's happening, baby? How you?
What's going on, G Money? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. So the last time we spoke, we talked about you having doing I guess they would call it a bid. So you did a bid.
Yeah,
What was it, 10 years?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yep.
So my question to you is how did you handle that mentally? I know you said you went and worked out, but that's
Yeah.
good for the body. What did you do for the mind? Because a lot of people in prison, I believe that they're in prison mentally as well.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I ain't gonna be no hypocrite or try to make it sound better than everybody else would make it just because we on live or whatever. But like not a lot of negativity take place. I was involved with negativity as well. That's what make your time go. Really, you can't think about the outside when you inside.
All right.
Because it makes you think about the outside, knowing you can't get there if you got years to do. So you have to focus on what's inside where you at. And the people, you can study the people. I studied the people, so I started writing books, reading a lot of books.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Dean Koontz is a good author. The 48 Laws of Power. That's them good books. I read the Bible majority, but I read little
Okay.
street novels here and there from Terry Woods, but I ain't talking about that. That's just fun recreation. But other than that, you can just write and stay focused on getting out. You know,
Yeah, I'm sure that was an exciting time when you got out. That must
yeah.
have
At
been
first it wasn't.
it
It
must have
wasn't.
felt like whoo, must have took a whole thing off of your shoulders. Right?
It was going down. The days was going down, but when the morning came, it didn't feel like it.
Right.
Because they still escorted us out. They was like, all right, everybody going home, get your stuff. I already have mine packed for 90 days. So you know they tell us to come on to the front, and the police escort us to the operations.
Right.
We go through the door. It's a gate bump. Go through the gate, go in the holding cell. Everybody maxing out April 1st, that day is in there. So you got a good couple of people, whatnot.
Hmm. Let me ask you, do you think a lot of people in there may have PTSD? I mean, it is a traumatic experience, no?
Yeah. ODSD, ADHD,
Right.
psychopathic. Yeah. You got a lot of mental disorderly people in there, G. It's
Well, how
not just,
do they have
huh?
counselors? Do you have counselors there to
Yeah.
help to counsel you, or
Yeah, but some of them guys got so much time, they not thinking about a counselor, even if they do go see one. They just want weed, cigarettes, stay in the negativity, man. You got very few people that's trying to do righteous in there, trying to do good and come home.
right? Right.
So the rest of
Sounds
them get caught up.
that reminds me of the army. We call it PTS. This is a permanent change of station. When you're
Yeah,
getting ready to get out, and
yeah,
we'd have that countdown. Did you guys have that countdown every day?
yeah. But
30 days in a wake up.
you can't do the countdown until you got the days left to count down.
Right.
100 days a lot to count down, but that's when you start.
You started 100 days.
Yeah, some people start at 6 months, 180 days, but that's kind of far. So I just started at 100. When I get to 100 days, I'll start there.
All
So
right.
it won't, and I take it down by 10 every 10 days. I don't care if the week off or whatever the days off. Every 10 days, I'll scratch that, 10 days off.
What do you
So
write it
that's
on the
how,
wall?
yeah,
You
that's
do
how
the
I
writing
had
on
it.
the wall? You write it on the wall?
Yeah,
Literally?
literally,
Really? Like they do in the movies?
literally, yo.
Get out of here.
Promise you. Door, wherever. Yeah.
So now that you've been out, what's happening? What are you doing with yourself?
Man, when I first came home, I was lost. I was confused, to be honest with you. I
Right.
didn't know, I thought the world still was going on before I left. I didn't think women would cheat on their boyfriends. I wasn't thinking like that. I was
Really?
just thinking, I swear, yo. I I thought when I went to prison,
Well, what age were you when you went to prison? Let's start with that.
I got locked up at 18.
Okay.
I didn't come home till I was 28. So 18 years old.
Any juvenile detention?
Yes, before that,
Okay.
17.
Wow.
So
And how? So you've been in this system for quite a while,
yeah.
pretty much
And
half of your life.
yeah, and in 10 years that I did, that's not the only bid I did. I did two more bids in different states as well. But
Mm.
I just wait till you ask that. You wasn't probably gonna ask that because you probably don't know, but it's good to know.
Yeah, I
Because
was
we
gonna. I
on
was
live. We
right.
gonna make this conversation interesting.
Right. I already knew that though.
Yeah.
I was gonna get to that. Just
Okay.
give me
Okay.
a happen. Give me a chance, baby. Look,
Well,
give
it's
me a
still
chance.
more.
Give me a chance to be the host. How about that?
All right.
Yeah, you go ahead and be the guest, and I'll take over the part of being the host.
I got you. I
And
got
while
you.
we being the host, we're gonna take a 30-second commercial break to
That's cool.
introduce our sponsors. Okay,
All
so
right.
check out our sponsors. All right, that was brought to you by the Wolf Pack. The Wolf Pack. I guess you can look them up on Facebook, or
Wolfpack.
I think it's on Instagram as well. You can go to at Wolfpack, and you
Yeah.
see it spelt almost. I guess that's the way the Germans would spell it. Okay, at Wolfpack on Facebook and Instagram. All right, we're gonna get right on back here to the gifted gorilla, Mr. Chandre. Hey, what's happening there, Mr. Chandre?
What's up, G?
Uh, yeah, I like to have a little fun with these
Me too.
airways. You know, we
Got
got the right. Yeah, yeah. It kind of keeps it up, keeps it going, makes it lively. Make people
you. Yeah.
interested in what we got going on.
Don't worry
So,
about this shelf right here. That's all closed, man. Just don't worry about it. It's the
yeah,
background.
yeah.
It's probably in the way, but
You ain't got to worry about
I
all
got
that.
to do something with it, man.
Nah, you don't have to worry about all that.
All right,
You're
come
good
on,
to
let's
go.
go.
No,
Continue. Let's
you're
do it.
definitely good to go.
All right.
All right. Anyway, let's get back to what we talking about, brother.
All right.
So
All right.
you've been out. You've been out now. How long have you been out?
A year and a half.
A year and a half. That's it.
Yeah.
Did you get out clean, or you're on probation, or
Every time I get out, it's clean. I don't do
so?
no, I don't play the paperwork. I max it out.
So you've been out, and I know you like to do your music.
Yep.
So that's why I put it down there. You see, it's
Well,
a gifted gorilla on YouTube. So let's talk about your music.
well, my music is I want to reach an audience that understand how I lived and where I came from and my background about me. Cause it's my what I've been through is like a movie. It's really like interesting because it's
Hmm.
different. I ain't meet no kid that been through what I've been through. So that's why I did started music and I liked it. I like the wordplay and how you put it together. And I ain't the best, but to me, it's nice. I like it. My words come out how I want it to, but I got new music coming. But anyway, I want the world to understand that there's other ways how God bless people.
Hmm.
Because I supposed to been dead. That's one of my songs. I had nephrotic syndrome growing up. I ate paint off the wall when I was 2, and it messed me up till I was 15. So in the process of that 2 to 15, I was, straddling the ropes. You feel me? Like
Hmm.
it could have been over with any day. I could have died any day. But God had me there for a reason. So
So as a youth, You said that you had gotten involved in some trouble. What kind of trouble that got you into a juvenile detention center?
Well, what got me in the juvenile detention center was the first charge I ever caught, man. I was 17, man. I just got my drive. Nope, I was 16. I just got my driver's license, and I had a Cutlass Sierra. This was
We getting there. We getting there. 1986. We getting there.
1999. This was
Okay.
so boom. I'm riding through Surfside in Myrtle Beach. I'm taking my homeboy to get his check from his job. I was already in the streets. I just actually did, a little robbery,
Mm-hmm.
from somebody that I used to deal with. I robbed him and, my other homeboys, which they was in the car with me. So we needed to actually get gas. I didn't stop to get no gas. So, because I wanted to get where I was going. And I'm like, well, the car, it'll make it. And then I get gas after I drop Buddy off. I wanted him out the car. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? But me not thinking of not putting him, let him stay in the car, trying to get him there faster than what I was doing, got us jammed up. So, I got caught with the car actually broke down in gas in front of California Pizza in Surfside. If you live there, you know what I'm talking about. Chatfield and Curry was the officers that booked me. They bagged me that day.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even my fault. It was my first cousin's fault, Rock. So,
So you actually didn't do a crime?
nah, but I had shit in the car.
Oh.
Stuff in the car,
Mm-hmm.
not my person, but yeah, I had stuff in the car. I had a
Mm-hmm.
pound of reefer in the car. It was in the trunk underneath the tire. So that's why I was trying to get Buddy out the car so I can go ahead and do my due diligence. You know what I'm saying? I had money I'm trying to make. So um the kid was like, I'm gonna just walk to work. His job was down the street. So he just left. Now it was me, my homeboy, and my cousin Rock. So the store was right across the street, man.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a median in the middle, so we couldn't push the car over there. So we had to walk over there. So we walked over there not thinking crazy, not thinking with no knowledge, neither one of us. He went in the store, bought a soda, went outside, emptied the soda with a 2 liter, and went back in the gas station and told the dude, he had a bald head white dude, big white dude, looked like he worked, like he do fucking, what's that, UFC fighting and shit? That's how he looked.
Mm-hmm.
Tattoos all over him. I already knew he was racist, but this when my troubles started, like for the police. Um, he was like, "Let me fill this. Let me get $5 in this 2 liter. Let me get $5 in this bottle." Dude was like, "You can't use that bottle. It's against hazards." So he was like, "You could buy a gas can." Went back there was no gas cans. So like, you ain't got none. Ain't nothing over there. So he was like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you then. You ain't getting it in that." So I was like, "Well, what can we put it in then?" You know what I'm saying? We right here broke down. What can we put it in?
Mm-hmm.
The man want to be ignorant. So my cousin Rock, man, fuck that, fuck you. And he threw the bottle at the damn man, yo. It hit him in his head, the top of it. And I was like, oh, hell no. But it was on camera or whatever happened. I didn't do it, yo. I ain't throw no bottle at that
Mm-hmm.
man. We
So
left out.
that was the beginning of your criminal career.
Yep. The
Yeah.
man called the cops. I was older than him. I'm older than both of these guys that's with me. I'm
Right.
damn near adult. I'm 16, but they're younger than me. So the cops came. We went back to the car. The cops came and they asked who car it is. I said, it's mine. They said, well, can we search it? I said, for what? No, we ain't did nothing. We just ran out of gas and we trying to get gas. I ain't did nothing wrong. Oh, we have reports of you trying to sell drugs out here in the parking lot. Which was
Mm-hmm.
true. Which was true. I seen a couple going in Pizza Hut. I'm trying to sell them drugs. You feel me? While I was still thinking. So I'm trying to, I'm just eating, man. That's what I did, yo. So, trying to make new customers, new clientele. I was young, so I think they called the cops too, and all that shit was just intervene with it all. And they pulled up on us like 4 or 5 cars deep, gloves on, jumped out, asked can they search the car. Told them no. They say you sure? I had weed on me. So I was like, I had like 3 ounces in my pocket, yo, like bagged up too. And I was like, nah, you can't search the car. So they was like, well, we ain't got no, we gonna search the car anyway. So they just let us be. And it was like some bushes behind, like on the side of the pizza place, California Pizzas dumpster. I went over that motherfucker, yo, and I emptied everything out my pockets. And I dumped everything behind the bush over there, behind the dumpster. They couldn't see. Then I came back out, like I was pissing. It was like, what you doing? I was like, I was taking a piss. Oh, all right, come back. So I walked back to the car. They was like, well, put your hands behind your back. You in the rest. They found a little baggie of weed, man.
That's all it
Talking about,
takes.
yeah, but I didn't even have no baggie of weed. They set me up, yo.
Yeah,
The
but
shit cut off on the top and it was tied real tight. I don't
mm,
deal with that little bit of weed. I deal with
mhm,
quantity. I deal with weight.
mhm. So
Even
where were
at the
you?
age of
You were where were you at when all this took place?
Surfside, Myrtle Beach, Surfside.
Oh, down south.
Yes.
Okay,
So
all right.
they locked me up. My cousin started crying in the car. They put us in the car together. He's crying like a bitch, and you know, he said what he had to say, and did his little due diligence. And they found the pound in the trunk, yo. That's what did it.
Mm,
When they found the weed, he started crying. I
mm.
was like, damn, fuck. I
But
watched him
but
pull that shit out, yo, and open the bag up, the whole
I,
Ziploc bag.
I mean, but after that incident, that didn't deter you from wanting to commit more crimes.
Well, I got out, and I went to court for it, and I got a little probation, but they gave me like 3 months probation, 2 months probation, or something like that. And I just did it real quick. I paid the money off, and I got off, and now I'm back fresh again. So now it's getting worse. So the crimes got worse now. You know what I mean? But that's
Is
the
there a
story,
reason why? I mean, is there a reason why you kept committing more crimes? I mean, you know.
man. I ain't gonna lie to you again. I'm gonna be honest. I just never wanted to grow up in poverty. I just hated not to have money
Hmm.
because I always hustled. If it was good or bad, I did both. I cut yards growing up. I raked yards growing up. I took trash out growing up. I washed cars growing up. I shoveled snow growing up. I got food carts and went all through the city of New York picking up cans and bottles, Stewart bottles, and taking it across the bridge to the price chopper and cashing my money in and getting money every day. It was something different. I'll go buy 10 hats for $5 and take it back to the streets and sell it for $15, $20 a hat. You know what I'm saying? So I was young. I'm 12, 13 at this time, man. I'm young. So
Hmm.
I was always hustling. So it was always just get it how I live, rob people, whatever. And that's what I did. I just didn't have no feelings then. I just wanted to line my pockets up.
How about school? No education. No mentors.
I
No
went to
one
school,
to.
but I went to school. I just used it for like a communication place, man. I sold, PlayStations in school when they first came out, games, the controllers, all the pieces, the memory cards. I sold Nintendo 64s. They first came out. I was stealing from Walmart, 5, 6 PlayStations at a time, all the games and shit. Steal them, take them to school the next day, sell them for 150 a game because they was kind of expensive, back then. But it was like, it was cheap for me because they brand new out the box and I'm just selling them fresh. So
I
I was
mean,
always, huh?
uh, just think about it. If you hadn't gone the way of being a criminal, you actually could have been probably a pretty good entrepreneur.
Well, I'm that right now, entrepreneur. But we just climbing our way to the mountain. You got one step at a time you gotta take. And process ain't gonna happen overnight. Success ain't gonna happen overnight. You gotta work for it, man. You can
Hmm.
just lay in the bed and say, oh, God gonna write me a check and it's gonna go under my door while I'm asleep like Candyman. Nah, it don't work like that. You gotta put the work in, you gotta put your feet down on the concrete and go get it.
So,
So
at what
now,
age? What age were you incarcerated? At what age did the light bulb go off? You understand what I'm saying? In other
yeah,
words,
when did I start realizing that it's over with?
right? When was that time
When I got
period?
out, December 1st, 2023.
Is that when
Word.
you got out?
Yep.
And that's when the light bulb went off?
That's when the fucking light bulb went off. And
Uh,
I was that was 2023. I was 40.
wow.
Yep. So
And you
that's when the
and
light
you
bulb went off, yo.
and out of that 40 years, you already spent 14 years of that incarcerated.
Probably a little more than that.
Now that's like
Because
half your life, man.
I've been in jail in Fayetteville, Cumberland County. I've been a year in there. I've been to Charlotte. I did like 6 months in Charlotte, Cumberland County. You got Cumberland County, and then you got I think the other one is, damn, they both similar.
Hmm.
Cumberland County and Cumberland County. Hold on, let me make sure. I got another phone. Let me just make sure right quick. I think it's Cumberland. Charlotte is Cumberland County.
Either way, you
Mecklenburg.
went
No, Charlotte is Mecklenburg County.
right.
Fayetteville is the
North
other one.
Carolina. Yeah, North
Cumberland County.
Carolina.
Yes. So I was in both of those states and in South Carolina. And I just got out of South Carolina again just recently. The
Hmm.
last bid. So I did 4 bids, yo. Yep.
Wow. Well, what do you have to tell the youth of today? I mean, all that time that you spent incarcerated, that must have been. I see a lot of the kids out here. They seem to glorify being incarcerated, and what I hear it in the rap songs and so forth and so on. And I listen to the kids as they talk to each other. They want to call themselves gangsters, and they want to act like gangsters, and they want to go out and pretend like if they've done all these robberies and stuff. Like, what do you tell these kids to keep them from following the path that you took?
Well, first you got to get to the root of the problem, man. You
Right.
got to go back. You got to, it's a thing called build and destroy. You heard of that?
Okay.
Okay. So
Enlighten me.
for now, you got to take it back to when you was a child. Things was different when you was growing up because you was older, but my year was different as well because I'm younger than you. And now the
Hmm.
youth, their years growing up, we seeing the years changed as they growing, as they getting born.
Hmm.
Now, me and you watching it change. You watching it from your year. I'm watching it from my year. So the only best thing to do is take it back from when you was growing up. What did you require in life? What did you want to do? So for me, how to read this to make it understand from your life and their life and my life, this me building all the pieces to the puzzle to get an understanding from everything around me. That's what God blessed me with. Now, this how I see it. Back in the day, you had Run DMC. You had Lost Boys. All these people, you had Heavy D. But if you want to go back further, you can go back to Shy Lights. You can go back to Luther Vandross, Jared Levert. You could go back that. Then you can go to Jaheim. You can get into these, and the music changed from the R&B to slow music to killing music. Now the record label want these people to talk like this so they can sell because they want to influence the world to do bad. So all the kids growing up, they glorify the drug dealers, they glorify the killers, they glorify somebody with a gun when they don't have one. They glorify somebody with $1,000 in their pocket and a nice chain on. That's nothing. Their minds are corrupted. They're looking at girls. They not thinking about what the girls thinking about. The girls thinking about money too.
Mm.
So if the man think about money, the girl think about money, all this lead to corruption because it's gonna lead to they one setting the next one up because they all want money. They don't care about love no more. It's no love like back in the day when you was growing up. My
Hmm.
grandmother had 23 kids, if I'm not mistaken, man. 17, 18 kids, one of them. I know it's a lot. It's up there. I got a lot of aunts and uncles. A lot of them passed away. But my grandfather and grandmother, they stay together, do this, man. They ain't cheat on each other. They step in the same house. Nowadays, you get a girl, she behind your back. So what changed is everybody's thinking about negativity. Everybody thinking about a come up. I could do this for this money. I could kill this nigga right quick and go ahead and break in his house and get this money. Feel me?
Hmm.
So it's all negativity. I don't want to be a part of that part. My music ain't about go kill the next man. My music about my life. It's the past. I done
Again, I
grew up
just, I
from that.
just, I just, I just want to ask you,
Yep.
as a youth, not you personally, but
Yep.
you have a lot of young people out here. Exactly, what would you tell them so that they don't do what you did and
Okay, I
follow the
think you just
path?
asked that question. I got on
Right.
track. Okay, so
Yeah, I
this is
want to
what
know
I'm gonna
about the
tell them.
crime. What kind of crime? Becoming a gangster, becoming a thug, wanting to
This
go to
is
jail.
this is what I'm gonna say about this with the kids, so they won't do it. I'm gonna say this. Think about what you do and what you say before you do it. Everything have consequences and repercussions behind it, except for positivity. If something happened in the process of you being positive, and you lose your life, that's on God. He wanted that to happen for a reason. Gotta respect it because you're being positive. But if you lose your life from robbing the next man or doing this, think about the consequences because you're going to prison. They don't serve you nothing there, man. You got to worry about the next man. The next man gonna kill you in jail because he don't have nothing to lose neither. So think about going to prison, which half of you don't think about it because half of you in their family, your folks and bloods, they all together. So they don't care no more, yo. That's what all these youngins are. And when they go there, that's where all their brothers are. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to understand the physical attraction of it. The prison system, like the projects to these youngins, man.
Well,
So you
it'd be
can't.
good. I tell you what would be probably a good thing for you to do is maybe you want to start somewhat of a podcast because a lot of the kids today they are online. They're on the Facebook, they're on
Yeah,
network, all the social media platforms.
yeah.
So maybe you just might want to start yourself a show or some sort of podcast where you can actually maybe mentor or talk to some of the youth so that they won't end up in prison. What do you think about that?
You can talk until someone mad at you and want to leave your presence. You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it. You hear me? You can put
Mhm.
somebody in the kitchen to cook. Don't mean the food gonna be good. You understand what I'm saying?
But that also means that the food may not be bad either. The food
But
actually
I
may be
just said
good.
somebody.
And some horses you can lead the water and they'll drink. See,
Okay,
when I hear people say things like what you just said, it
yep.
almost like it almost sounds like a deterrent. It's like, okay, well, this could happen, so I'm not going to do anything.
Nah,
That's kind of
that's
what
not
I hear.
that's not what I meant by that. What I meant by
Right.
you can bring a horse to water, we can't make them drink it. You can tell the story to someone, but you
Hmm.
can't make them abide by your rules on what you're saying.
No, no, but they're
Because
not
when
there for that.
once they leave your presence, they're gonna continue to do what they was doing.
Absolutely, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you don't give out the information.
I no, I can give it out. I
Right.
can give it out. Yeah.
In other words, the way we were taught is you say if I get the information, then I take it and teach 10 more people. Now it may only be one or two that actually may understand it, but then they're going to turn around and teach 10 more people, and or I may even get in a situation where I may go to teach or mentor 10, 15 people, and none of them get it, but that shouldn't deter me for the next 15 people to
Now
come along.
you got it in the Bible.
Hmm.
It's in the Bible. God sent out 12, 13 disciples, steppers. Jesus did. Let's be exact. And told them, go save many souls as you can. Go
Hmm.
to every hood, every neighborhood. Not every hood, but every neighborhood, every, park. Knock on doors, save souls. Give
Hmm.
give blessings. Give them stuff. So that's what they did. He gave them coins to give people. You understand? So they could get their attention. Jesus wanted the people to understand where his people coming from. So that's the only way they could do it, by giving blessings and telling them about Jesus, right? He said, if someone don't listen and they close the door in your face, walk off. Don't worry about them. Go to the next place. Go to the next house. You get me?
Yeah, but see, if you listen to the last part of it, this is exactly what you're saying. They're saying they're not going to give up. They're saying
Yeah.
if that person don't get it, okay, they don't get it.
Go
I'll
to the
move
next
on to the
person.
next. Right?
And
It's
that's
not about throwing out the baby and the
nope.
bathwater. No,
Nope. It's just that's everybody though. I
right,
give them a
right.
little bit and I keep going. They don't want to hear that, yo.
Well, that's why I said if you give yourself a podcast, you'll reach a hell of a lot more people,
And
and
I can
it'll
I
give you an
it's cut.
opportunity to
We can
express
do it.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Ain't
yeah,
nothing wrong
yeah.
with that. And I
All
can
right.
do it.
Well, we should think about doing it. Anyway,
Okay.
our time
Tonight,
is
I'm gonna
about
think
up.
about it tonight.
Well, you think about it and get back to us.
Okay.
You let us know here at the Empowerment
All
Show,
right.
and maybe we could think about a way of getting you on and allowing you to have a little podcast for yourself. This way, you can reach that particular demographic that may need to be reached. All right.
Okay.
This is Kendall Stevenson, and we are just about at the end of our show. You know, we only do a 30-minute show here, so I'm going to say peace. I'm going to
Peace.
say, as my girl would say, be yourself, because everybody else is
Yes.
taken.
Everybody else is
So,
taking it.
all right then. So we're gonna say peace. Good night. We're out.
Peace. Good night.